Can you peep this Dexerto tweet? What are we looking at? Marvel's releasing an Overwatch-like game called Marvel Rivals. Interesting. So these are the hotfixes for Plunderstorm, guys. They're out in their entirety now, and we didn't cover them completely yesterday, so I want to now. We have Plunder contained in drop piles.
Roll 6, Jessica. Of
Plunder increased by 50% in solos. So basically, you can farm more Plunder in solos. I think that's fine. Resing a teammate now takes 10 instead of 15. I think that's also fine. I think that's fine. I think resing a 10-second res is completely fine. Health brew cooldown for revive player reduced to 10. I also think this is completely fine. Like when you res, it is kind of nice to be able to heal back up eventually. 15 felt a little long. Adjusted the in-match leveling curve to increase the rate at which you level up to 7 and decrease the rate at which you level from 8, 9, and 10. I don't know if I love this. So the idea is high levels have a big advantage over low levels. But does that actually fix the problem? Like, let's critically think here for a second. If we have a team that hits level 7 really fast because they're good, and then they snowball to level 8, 9, and 10 because they're good, and we have a team of noobs that aren't leveling as fast because they're not as experienced, and now they hit level 8, it's going to take them longer to hit 9 and take it even longer to hit 10 than it would previously. I don't like this change. I like the reasoning for the change. I think the change itself doesn't solve the problem that they're trying to solve. I don't think this solves the problem that they're trying to solve. Now, a better solution, because I'm not just going to complain without providing an alternative solution, because that's just, yeah, like, what are we, like, whining on the forums or something? Absolutely not. The alternative solution that I would recommend is reducing the amount of stamina and hit points and damage and effectiveness in its entirety per level. So level 8s would feel a little weaker. Level 9s would feel a little weaker. Level 10s would feel a little weaker. And that's about it. Just reduce that gap by 5%. See how that feels. If you need to, reduce it by another 5%. Right? A little less health, a little less damage. Just make levels a little less relevant. Still keep them. Keep them around. Just make them a little less relevant. So that way when someone's level 10, who's maybe a noob and fighting like a really good level 6, maybe the level 6 could actually take out the 10. And right now that would be impossible. But we're changing the leveling curve rates. Yeah, I don't think this is as impactful to solve the problem that they're trying to solve as they think. Earthbreaker now grants the caster immunity to crowd control spells while casting. I think that's good. Earthbreaker still is probably not that great of an ability. It's probably a bit better now. But I was thinking about this, and not every ability needs to be the best ability. There's some abilities that can be really good early game for farming and really good early game for comboing, and late game you switch off of them, and there's nothing wrong with that. And Earthbreaker seems to be like one of those. It's like early game for farm, it's great. Middle game for comboing, it's great. Late game, it's probably not something you're really gonna pick, and that's fine. You don't have to make everything like perfect. I think this is fine. Fate Form no longer provides any damage reduction. So previously, before this change, it was a really hard choice. Should I take Faye and get no blink from like stealth, no utility from stealth? Should I take Faye instead of Bulwark and have Bulwark give me an extra damage and movement speed? Or should I take Faye and get the trinket with a little bit of damage reduction? It was a hard choice. Now they nerfed Faye. I think Faye is probably the worst of them now. I think this is an overreaction, just like the Firewhirl overreaction. I think it's an over nerf, and I think Faye is going to be one of the least desirable picks. Once again, is that necessarily an issue? No. But now it makes it a less interesting choice than it previously was. So now you're just nerfing things for no reason. So I can't say a W for this change. Hunter's chain missiles now move faster. I think that's a W. That's fine. Firewhirl damage reduced by 20. Once again, it's an overreaction. Firewhirl was not used and sought after, really. Early game, it was fine. Mid game, it was not that great. And late game, it was certainly not that great. So nerfing it seems a bit weird. Maybe nerfing rank 1 Firewhirl if they thought rank 1 was overperforming. But rank 2, 3, and 4, all of it, I think this is also an overreaction. Rhyme Arrow cooldown increased at higher ranks. Now it's a cooldown of 10, 8, 7, and 5 was 10, 8, 6, and 4. Rhyme Arrow short cooldown made it too low risk. Okay, I agree with this change. I would like the game better if they made Rhyme Arrow not auto-aim and Hunter's Chains. I think auto-aim abilities make this game less fun, and I think Rhyme Arrow should be a skill shot, and Hunter's Chain should be a skill shot like every other ability in the game, period. No auto-aiming at all, which means you would have to buff both of the abilities. Like, Rhyme Arrow would have to do a lot more damage if it was a skill shot. It would have to be like kind of like a sniper rifle. But I don't like the idea of you can't dodge this ever. That's just not good for the game, I don't think. Every other ability besides these two you can dodge. So in my opinion, take out the auto aim from both and then buff both abilities so that makes it feel really scary in another way. Just rework them. But I don't like the idea behind you just press it every time it's up and you get instant value always. It's just not good for the game at large. And then these are the changes from a few days ago. We already covered all these, but like the MMR change, we talked about that in depth. Star Bomb, Firewhirl. So they nerfed Firewhirl here, and then they nerfed it again here, which was the overreaction in my opinion. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's what I think. Some W's, some L's. Overall, I'd say it's a W. It's fine. I just think some stuff was not necessary. There's my thoughts on that.